Okay, guys, we've had some interesting information here leak about Black Widow. Personally, I'm very, very excited for Black Widow over here in the UK. Gutted it was delayed. We're talking to a few people, heavy spoilers on YouTube, and chatting to him on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying that they should just put it on Disney Plus. I mean, you might as well, because Birds of Prey didn't do that well. That was an all-female cast, which looked great. The movie looked great. But it didn't do that well. No one went to see it. No one went to see that movie, which was a shame because, well, it looked pretty good. And I enjoyed it. Saw it in IMAX. First ever IMAX I ever saw. Weirdly. But Black Widow, nonetheless, will be delayed, unfortunately. But the post-credit scenes have been leaked. If you believe that, if you take this with a pinch of salt, of course, as always here on this channel. But what's cool is there's some very, very cool bits and pieces that have been revealed. So what are they? Well, there's a couple of different bits and pieces that have been leaked somewhat from here, which is a shame because obviously there's quite a lot of spoilers and that from this. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. Let's take a little looky. Did it all for the looky here with the mid-credit scene. So the movie, presumably it revolves around a USB device that can actually get rid of your whole trace from the internet. From every part of the internet, it can get rid of all of your data. So if you've been naughty like Natasha Romanov, well, yeah, that is going to be interesting. But of course, we also have Jelena and Taskmaster in the movie. Jelena, if we're going by the trailers, seems to be who Black Widow is helping, but in the comics, she was the second Black Widow. She was charged with becoming the Black Widow after Natasha Romanoff. And Taskmaster, of course, is the infamous trainer. He's a villain in this. He, more than normally, he does actually, of course, train people somewhat more than he is going out there attacking people and the like, because he's got photo reflexes. But what is curious is that this will focus around those two. So the mid-credit scene shows General Thaddeus Ross creating a team of his own. He uses the flash drive, which was in the movie, to get rid of people's identity. And he is surrounded by Jelena Belova and Taskmaster. So that is big because that sets us up for the Thunderbolts. Now the Thunderbolts was a curious bunch here, to say the absolute least. So the Thunderbolts were pretty much a kind of supervillain team. And well, I like the idea of that. We're going to set up that. It was also, we had Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts, which took over from, or they were almost taken over from the Avengers there, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that's curious, to say the absolute least. Seeing an evil sort of team set up there. Maybe in the wake of Endgame, we want to see a government-sanctioned team, which in the comics right now is Squadron Supreme. They are the government-sanctioned team there in the comics to be the antis, kind of be the government's version if the Avengers kind of go rogue or they don't do what the government wants. They're like Squadron Supreme there. So I think that the Thunderbolts will be involved here. Squadron Supreme has been rumoured for a involved in one of the Disney Plus shows. So let me know what you think of the comments on that one. That is very, very curious, of course. So the fact is that the mid-credit scene is big because obviously these characters are fleeing the authorities and they want to stop them, or the authorities want to stop them there, which is really, really cool. It's called the Fox Child. She gets it, and then Natalia gives it over to Jelena, her sister sort of thing, and tells her she can set a new path for herself. But your boy Taskmaster has been involved. He's been naughty, and Jelena wants to give it to him and help him, which would only really make sense, I think, if we've actually watched the movie yet. That is the real twist there, of course. So it could be the setup of a Thunderbolts team. So that's going forward there. And well, what is interesting is that the previous leak, which you can see, is of course Jelena kills Taskmaster. So it could be the big thing that Jelena doesn't actually kill Taskmaster. So that's interesting there. That is big. To the 4chan leak actually says that Natasha runs to escape the Accords and heads to Budapest to retrieve the Fox charge, which is a sort of clean slate device, a digital razor that gets rid of your print face DNA in government's database. She finds Jelena there, who has been assigned to kill her. Jelena didn't know she would be the target, backs off after a playful fight. Florence Pugh there, obviously in Midsummer, amazing film. So the plot is 3/3, getting the Fox charge, Nat being chased by the government, and stopping Melina, who eventually suits up as a revamped Iron Maiden in a suit very akin to Matt LeBlanc's Lost in Space. That's interesting. Natasha, Yelena, Red Guardian, and her old lover Mason have to sneak across the borders, fight all the remaining Black Widows who get sent after them, and Taskmaster always seems to know where they will be. The film makes you think of all their allies could be him. He is able to perfectly mirror all the combat styles. So we're going to see really cool stuff there. Him fight everything. And it could be... there's a fight with Red Guardian, a dirty bar fight version of Cap versus Cap in Endgame, that was cool. There's a tank mobile command center that drives itself. And also, this is going to steal the show in the same way as... Idris Elba's badass motorcycle in Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't seen that. The arc of the film is very much this is Wild World calling Natasha back to it and her trying to get out of it. Mason is also revealed to be Taskmaster and kills Red Guardian in front of Natasha and Yelena. Interesting. Yelena kills Taskmaster by shooting him. Yeah, that's pretty curious there, to say the absolute least. So, the final post-credit scene shows Clint Barton and his family at the gravestone, marked with Natasha Romanoff's name. So that's putting a stamp on that. That shows her completely dead. Mid-credit scene really is the most interesting part, where we see the Thunderbolts team happen, which I think is cool. So the Thunderbolts are quite big. They were involved quite a lot in everything. They were and have been. I mean, Winter Soldier was the leader of them at one point a couple of years ago, which I think is very, very cool. So it's a group of villains. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. What do you think? Do you think that's cool? I think it is, at least. But it's interesting which version we're going to go with. Which version, because there's been just so many versions. But what is interesting, if you saw my video yesterday about the Red Hulk, possibly being involved with Ant-Man and AIM and everything like that, with Red Hulk being in the She-Hulk, she'll be in that. MODOK, rumoured to be an Ant-Man who creates the Red Hulk. So that's big. We've seen it all connect. Seems like the Thunderbolts and Red Hulk of General Ross will be the big part of the next upcoming arcs, so to speak, there, with everything that's going on. So the Red Hulk, he has his own version, which was very, very interesting to say the least. He wants to have his own sort of, I would say, a group of morally ambiguous group. But let me know what you think. Do you think that's cool? Are you interested in seeing that? Are you interested in seeing Thunderbolts, Red Hulk happen? And if it is, I expect that the Thunderbolts will lose at some point, leading him to become the Red Hulk. Or he will create the group. Maybe he'll be Red Hulk in this, and they haven't done the CGI for that just yet. So there are, like I said, quite a lot of different Thunderbolts. They are kind of a morally ambiguous sort of villain team, which is pretty cool. But they are not the Avengers. So that's post-credits scene, and that's where they're going next with General Ross. So let me know what you think in the comments there. This is just another clip from my live stream here on Spider-Man Superhero Nexus on Twitch, Superhero Nexus MXR on Mixer. Do you like these videos? Do you like me clipping them? I haven't got time to stream and make videos, so I thought I would just do both at the same time, and then just edit it out and put some other little bits and pieces in there for you.